Everybody has a bias. Some people are biased towards accuracy, some people are biased towards speed, and they're both wrong.
With guided drills and real-time feedback, the Mantis Laser Academy allows you to have a training facility at home and at your convenience. Get quality reps with your own equipment and experience a higher level of dry fire training with positive results that you can see and feel. Laser Academy's variety of drill options also keeps things fresh for shooters, making practice feel more like a game and less like a chore. I use it all the time and recommend it highly.
Hey guys, welcome to Mantis Dry Fire Mondays. This is Active Self-Protection Extra, and I'm Brian Hill with The Complete Combatant. I'm so grateful for what I get to do for a living. Now, I'm not a professional YouTuber, which is obvious by my videos. The amount of quality and time that goes into some of these top-notch videos just inspires me. And thanks to the mentorship of John, these videos have gotten better. Quality's better, sounds better, so that's good. But my primary job in life is to go around the country and teach fine folks to shoot guns well, all right? Make better decisions under pressure and how to become better coaches. So that's what I focus on, and that's what I'm good at. And I want to introduce drills that would help you also become better in those areas. This is a great drill. It's called changing gears. Now, some of you can't do this because of your range. You're not going to be able to set up what I've set up behind me. I'm grateful to all the people that have been a part of my range and helped me have this so that I can come out here and practice like this. I know I'm spoiled, and that helps me a lot in my progress. So you may not be able to do this, but you could set it up with 3 different targets on the same piece of paper. So a medium, a small, a large, and then you can transfer it on the same sheet of paper at different ranges. Or at home, you can practice it in dry practice also. That would be real helpful. So you have different sized targets if you only have one wall, but if you have stands, you can make targets smaller and smaller as they go along. Because nothing really changes here. One's at 10 yards, one's at 15, and one is at 20, but our eye says it's far, and that one in the back is smaller. So really we have 3 targets of different size, but your brain's gonna try to convince you that it's far and it's hard to shoot. See it all the time in class. Some range area distance becomes the far mark, 7 yards, 10 yards, 15 yards, and suddenly the shooting changes tremendously, okay? Everybody has a bias. Some people are biased towards accuracy, some people are biased towards speed, and they're both wrong, all right? You have to have both. In the fight game, if I was teaching somebody striking, I would never tell them to slow down and get their hits in, nor would I tell them to go fast and miss. They would have to fight at the speed of the fight, all right? It's interesting, you know, most good fighters can throw 5 to 6 punches per second. Most good shooters can shoot 5 to 6 shots per second. That's how the body works. Even though one's a much longer motion than the other, that's how long it takes us to process things. What this drill is going to show me is how I process things when they change distance, all right? And I'm going to use a timer. Now the accuracy has to be relaxed because this is a speed and efficiency drill first and foremost. So I have Alpha Charlie steel out there. If you take a USPSA, the Alpha is the long rectangle in the middle, and then the next mark out is Charlie. That's all the steel that's available. I always take an Alpha hit and a near Charlie. What I don't want to see on these pieces of steel is how it's edging out towards the edge. That would be off the target. These fit right inside the framework of my body. So this is good practice for the armed defender because you might have 3 people. Now, people are always going to say you should shoot the closest one first, but it depends who's most dangerous, right? If there are 2 guys in front of me and they haven't decided to go, but the back one's aiming a gun at me, he might get the shot first, or the one in the middle. So it's going to be contextually relative. I can't just say take the first one first. I'm always going to take the most dangerous target out first if I can, and I have to make a decision with that. It's not uncommon to watch videos with multiple attackers to have people coming in a line or kind of different distances that you have to transfer it to. So I think you'll find a lot of value in it. Talked it to death. We're going to shoot it a little bit and see what it looks like. Remember, you can practice this in dry practice. You can use your Mantis to fix that, and then you can go to the range and confirm it with live fire on different size targets. And if you're lucky enough to do what I do, you can do this also and have a lot of fun with it. All right, timer's going to tell the truth. Going to do some shooting and see what it does. So the first one I'm going to do is I'm going to do the far one in the back, the middle, and the front. All right, which may be the hardest transition or maybe the easiest. We're going to find out. All right, Good shooting. The best group is in the back. They're two on top of each other because I was already aimed in. Makes it simple. A little low on the middle one. Everything's good though. Everything's pretty much an alpha hit, as I call it. So it took me 2 seconds and 2.67 on that. So let's see how the numbers break down, because that's where the information is. When you're really connected to shooting, the part of your brain that tells time should be disconnected. And that's why you're not very good at it. All right, I have a strong sense of time, but when I really shoot well and I open up my vision and just follow the process, it can feel both slow and fast at the same time. All right, let's look at this. So the first shot was a 23. That's my reaction time on a 20-yard target. Fantastic. Prepping the trigger, all set to go. What's my split? About a 60. That's not wrong. Maybe a little slow though. We'll find out. Okay. My transition was a 54 to the middle target. It sounds a little slow to me. Let's see what the split says. Split was a 47, so it's about a 10th slow, I would say, for me. And then the transition to the front was a 45. That was way slow. I really confirmed that. And then the split on that was a 38. So I was still taking my time, which shows up in the target. So I've got to change those gears. I got to go faster as I get closer to me instead of at the same pace. And that's the human condition. We get rhythmic and we get cadence oriented instead of vision oriented. This drill is dragging you down into vision and the dot and seeing what you need to see to make your hits and doing it as efficiently as possible. So let's mix it up this time. I'll start on the middle one, all right? And I'm gonna go to the back one and come back to the front one, see how the times vary. All right, so I did faster on that one. All right, I pushed it a little bit that time. So a 219 overall, so that's a fifth of a second sooner, and probably a harder transition. Middle far back instead of just coming in a row. So interesting time. The first shot was a 31, so a little slow. It's cold, sun's coming down, I don't know. You make up some excuses. I can go faster than that and I'll fix it, okay? A 22 split on a 10-yard target. I'll take it all day, that was fine. The transition to the back target was a 66, which is similar to what I saw on the other one, so not wrong. And man, I pushed that one. I did a 26 split on a 20-yard target. I'm gonna tell you that I got it on there, but it's to the far edge, and that was one of those that I would worry about. That's a far Charlie, so that's not quite good enough. I'm pushing that split just a little too hard. All right, came back to the front in a 52, so from a 20-yard to a 10-yard target in a 52, which is not bad, and then a 22 split on it, okay, for a 219 total. So that was pretty good. Now I'm gonna do it the other way, and the final way that there is, I'm going to start the closest one and work my way all the way to the back. Let's see what that time works out to be. That one felt real good. I know I can go a little faster than this, but that was a pretty good set. All the shots are really good. In fact, they're a little too accurate. I think I wasted a little time on accuracy mode, and then that's what happened to an accuracy bias shooter. So I'm always going to fall back and make an excuse for why I needed to be more accurate. All right, so 229 total, which is right in between the other two scores, and I would consider this one to be a faster one total. So let's see what the clock tells us. All right, so the first reaction to the beep was a 22. That's fantastic. That's human reaction time. A 20 split, right where it should be for me. A 60 transition. That's too slow to a 10-yard target. I can do that quicker. And then a 20 split on it, which was quick because I was settled. And then a 64 split on the back, which is not too bad, about in the right range. And a 42 split, and that's why the hit was just a little bit better. I had a little more control over that. So really the transition to the middle target is what I need to work on, okay? Now, if I continue to work on this drill, what I'll practice is trying to find how to move from that transition a little quicker, because I find accuracy biased shooters don't transition particularly well. All right, they like to hold, like to see the dot come up, come back down, settle, dot come back up, settle, and then push, which waste a lot of time. And for efficiency, or speed shooters that are biased towards speed tends to be the opposite. They'll just push the gun across and they may not see enough in it, so they need just a bit of visual patience to see a little bit more. So we're all going to be working on this. A great drill that you can do on paper, that you could do on steel. I did steel because it's a little easier to see. All right, let's do one Ricky Bobby one and see what we get out of it. All right, I don't like to do Ricky Bobbies. but I'm going to try to push myself and see what I can get out of this and get a little pace on it. All right, hang on. All right, there's a Ricky Bobby. It all worked out too, all right? Funny thing is, I don't like to be pushed fast. I don't like to be rushed or hurried, but I shot it at a 170, which is, 0.8 faster than my first time, okay? Getting warmed up helps. So 25 on the first shot, just normal. The split was a 17, okay? And then the move to the next target was a 39, which is where I needed to be, and the split was a 22, and the movement to the back target was a 40, and the split was a 27. Everything's on, and actually it's pretty good hits. So I'm pretty happy with that. I'm gonna walk you guys through so you can see the steel. That way the naysayers and the doubters of my integrity can see the hits on the target, count them up, and make sure I haven't fabricated. If I missed anything, please let me know. But that's what the YouTubes do sometimes, is they question whether I'm doing what I'm saying I'm doing. And I'm trying to do the best I can to put information forward for you guys and help you out with that, okay? So here's the 170. Pretty good. I'm happy with that. That's me pushing. I'm sure there's people in the world that can do it faster than that, and I applaud them, and that's fantastic. But that was really good for me. I took 0.8 off of it, still got the same amount of hits, and if that's in a fight and I can take that off, that means there's far less bullets coming back at me. You know, my bill drill is draw and fire 6 at a 7-yard target in 2 seconds. All right, if it takes you 2 seconds to draw and fire 1, you're 5 shots behind. Something to think about. So we got to work on both of these. We got to be accurate, we got to be efficient, and that's going to make performance mode because we're going to be calling our shots. Let's go look at the targets real quick. Okay, so near target here, this is the one I worry about. That's not good. The rest of this is pretty good. It's inside, not bad. Pretty happy with that, but it's the close, easy one. Okay. As you guys can see, this is all pretty good. They're starting to move a little bit out. I like all these. That's set. Nicely done. You know, sometimes you get lucky too, right? So I got a piece of luck on here. Okay, so I think that was probably the last one going fast, and I got lucky and caught the edge of it. All right, and that's not what I want to see on the steel, but remarkably everything else is where it should be. Okay, so how would I change that? I know I was just not seeing quite enough on that. All right, so it's okay. It worked out. Wouldn't work out every time. But now I know next time I run through it, it doesn't slow you down. You have to see. You have to see and not shoot at a physical cadence. All right, guys, I hope that helps you out. It's a cool drill. I love it. I had a lot of fun with it. My friends AJ Zito and Tim Herron worked with me a lot on it when I took their class, and it was a fantastic drill to practice, so I thought I'd share it with you guys. All mistakes are my own and not relative to them. And I hope you can get out there and practice. Remember, get a sheet of paper, have 3 different size targets, set up your dry practice so you have different visual depths with it, and you guys will get better at this quicker. All right, use your Mantis, get better with it. I don't know if it'll work for this drill. In live fire it will. All right, you can measure it in live fire and look how well you're aiming and moving and seeing the transition of the gun. That'll help tremendously. And then, as always, guys, you've got to practice this stuff, and you got to be refining yourself. Being a better shooter is about seeing who really lives inside of you, all right? And understanding your bias is really important because you're going to try to see the world through your lens. And like I said, I don't like to go fast, but suddenly I go fast and I'm getting excited because I'm shooting better. All right, active self-protection. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, get your Mantis dry fire out, get to work on that. I'm Brian Hill with the Complete Combatant, and as always, measure, refine, and perform.